everybody. All right, what's up, Jason A? What's happening, Highest Five? What's up, Marijuana King? Good to see you. What's happening, Aaron? What's happening, Mine Kush 11? What's good to see Jeremiah Sanchez? What's up, Texas Squatch? All right. What is happening, Lieutenant Blazer 556? Good to see you, buddy. All right. So we got the show going. Everything's going well here at Potsquatch Growers. I hope everyone is also having a beautiful day so far. Another busy day for me. But, we're slowly but surely chugging away on finishing the harvesting of all those seeds to get those ready to go. And then Wednesday, we will be, rocking and rolling and cleaning up the lab and getting everything back up in action so we can get some weed titties growing for everybody. I know it's been a while. I know a lot of people are missing the plants. And I'm like, man, you know what? I'm missing the plants too. But we're going to get that all going very soon. What's happening, Marvin's Garden? Good to see you, my friend. What's up? What's happening? I'm just chilling, bro. Just chilling. Basically, right before I started the show, I got another voiceover audition thing that I got to do for my agent. So after the show, I'm going to go into the sound booth and bang out a little audition there, and we'll see what happens. Here's hoping. Fingers crossed. All right, but yeah. So how's everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. What's up, Ben Mitchell from the UK? How's the UK treating you today? How's the weather? It's kind of rainy and gross here in British Columbia, Canada. I was actually gonna, I was hoping to maybe do the show outside today. We do it in the backyard or something like that. But no, it's gross, man. It's raining. It's gross. It's rainy. It's cold. So we're gonna do the show inside again. So here we are. I am looking forward to getting the plants going, though. It'll be nice to kind of start doing the show again from the lab there, getting to show everyone the little babies and the plants growing. One of the things this time is going to be fun is we're actually going to take our time with the veg a little bit longer. We only did 3.5 weeks of veg from seed to flip on the last run. Still went really well, but we're going to do a slightly longer veg this time. Realistically, probably 4 or 5 weeks of veg would be my guess, and then we'll go from there. Aaron, do you have any BC Kush genetics like the Gasky, Skunky Kush? Of course I do. I'm a BC grower. Most of my genetics are Canadian-based genetics. And yeah, so I've got lots of those different things. Anything that will be coming to market right away, not quite yet, but we will be working on developing an entire Kush line. Kush, in my humble 2 cents, is the best subsect of any cannabis species. I love Kush. Kush is my happy place, and so one of the things we're going to be doing for most of my career, we'll be developing lots of different types of Kush for everybody. Know what I'm saying? All right. So anyway, local grow guy. Hey, how you doing, buddy? What's up, Kenneth R. Knox? Good to see you, my friend. That's right, Get It, Rick. It's live time, baby. How you doing, Get It, Rick? All right. What's up, Eugene Dolan? What's good in the hood? I hope you're having a beautiful day there over in the UK as well. Woo! What's up, JP Page 2? Good to see you. Welcome to the show, my friend. What's up, local grow guy? I'm doing well. Haven't started any plants yet, but we will be getting those going in the next couple of days. Wednesday is going to be the big day of cleaning up everything and getting it back in action. We're also going to be making a how-to video on making your own insecticide out of rhubarb greens and, a few basic suffocants, aka, a little dish soap, a little canola, and we're going to be playing around with it that way. So it'll be a fun little how-to video for everybody that we got coming out. I've got some giant Jurassic Park-sized rhubarb greens out back, so we've got the stuff we need. What's up, Visible Farms, AZ? Or AZ, I should say, as a Canadian. We don't say Z, we say Z. All right, good to see you, Bill Gore. How you doing, buddy? I hope married life is treating you well. Get It, Rick says, we doing a wonderful, good sir. Just to turn the compost pile and ready to chill with a Potsquatch commute. Hell yeah, buddy. So Jeremiah Sanchez, you are going to be able to create. You can technically work with taking a traditional male and then breeding it into a female. The one thing you will notice is for the first number of generations, you're going to have to work very, very hard in order to get a decent male. So you're going to have your pheno hunt's really going to be more so usually looking for males now when doing that. Is it impossible? No, but it does take a number of generations to try to bring that male level up. But it is possible. The one thing I will also encourage too is especially when if it's something that's come from a compounded feminized genetic line, which many things in this day and age now in fact do, you're going to be wanting to watch out for herming. Okay, and also too, I've noticed that ninja nanners, as I like to call them, which are kind of little nanners that are hiding underneath your sugar trim, and they actually do it in such a little way that it's very hard to see them. And these have become more and more prevalent as the years seem to go by. So it is what it is. Texas Squatch says, sorry I can't stay. I just wrenched the shit out of my back. I got to try and stretch it out. I'll be back. Sounds good. May the stretching be with you, Texas Squatch. Local grow guy. See, you're holding up the stress of being in the industry officially. I've been in the industry for a very long time, whether it was as Potsquatch or something else. So no, nothing new here, really, to be fair. If anything, the thing I'm finding stressful is having to be at the kitchen, being a head chef all the time. But got to pay the bills, and as things are starting to get going for our company there. Hell yeah, Visible Farms. Gotta go feed the weed titties. Feed the weed titties, son. Tell the weed titties I say hi, and also say hello to the tortoise as well. All right, what's happening, Handy F? How you doing, my friend? Hello, hello. How you doing? All right. But yeah, no, things are going really well here. I'm really excited about the new hemperette line. We're going to be launching that fairly soon. Right now, I'm just debating on which suppliers to use because basically one of the things that I'm wanting to do is have our hemperettes tailor-made, but with hemp paper. So I'm trying to find a supplier who's able to fulfill my order in that regard. But we're really excited about launching those. So those are going to be available in stores very soon, as well as our online store, which is potsquatchsales.com, where you can get all of your swag, all of your hemp CBD needs, as well as we're going to be expanding slowly but surely the swag line, the smokables line. And then we're also going to be doing, garden supply eventually and doing that kind of stuff as well on the store. Jeremiah Sanchez, whenever I get a chance to actually sit down and order the labels, the beans will be up on the site. We will also be having Death Trap Genetics fairly soon coming onto our website, as well as Higher Than Life Genetics as well. So that would be Texas Squatch's creations, as well as our buddy Ben's creations too. All right. Hey, I agree, Kenneth R. Knox. It is a lot of work. We basically developed and launched a new menu in 1 week, and it's with no staff. But I've got some bodies now, and I'm slowly but surely training them and getting to a point, hopefully soon, where I'm going to be able to not have to think about the kitchen too much. Some Potsquatch CBD oil might help with my back pain. Oh, it totally will. I guarantee you that. At the end of the day, we've had nothing but amazing reviews from people, whether they're using it to treat pain, whether they're using it to treat sleep, anxiety, depression. Pretty much getting a lot of very good reviews from people and very appreciative reviews because it's so affordable, so reliable, and accessible. I sold out of it locally very fast. So I've got a whole another big giant batch of it coming up here to Canada, but it obviously is also available on the website. You can order that at any time. Potsquatchsales.com. Check that out, everybody. It's our brand new hand-coded website built custom for us. And the website will get even more fancy over time as we can afford to expand its functionality. What's happening at Scully's House of Thrillers? How you doing, my friend? Yeah, no, Scully's House of Thrillers. We are the most affordable CBD line in the world. We tinctures and gummies are currently available. We will be launching our hemperette line very soon as part of that. We are also going to be launching larger packs of the gummies so you can buy like a shit ton of them. Right now they just come in a 4-pack. But they've been we launched that officially. The official launch was April 20th this year. So we launched that at 420. We showed up and had a lot of fun there at the Vancouver 420 event at the Art Gallery. Only thing that was a little weird about that event that day is they had this giant poster of Yoko Ono staring down at all of us because the Yoko Ono event or thing, whatever the hell it is. I mean, like really, like what does the Vancouver Art Gallery really need to show any of that? There's nothing of value there with Yoko Ono, but that's my humble 2 cents. Scully's House of Thrillers, check it out now on potsquatchsales.com. All you got to do is check that out and you'll be ready to rock. What's up, Grow Big 207? It has been a while. How you been, my friend? Runts Muffin and Root Beer McFlurry, hope you and your family are doing well. We are doing well, my friend. Yes, we are. And I'm glad to see you back again. And the Runts Muffin and the Root Beer McFlurry, both strains I haven't heard of. So, I mean, that sounds very fun and new age. What are they like? Tell me about them. Anyway. Yeah, so, and then our seeds will be launching very soon. Like I said on the website, I just got to get the labels done. So labels, I mean, I've got a basic kind of design done. I kind of want to add a few more things to it. That's something that is on my agenda today. First things first, though, after the show, I got to do my voiceover audition for my agent so they don't yell at me. Am I still running the pink strain? Not currently. I have Pink Kush in my collection. I have Pink Kush by Northern Lights. But yeah, no, I haven't run pink in a while. We ran Orange Hindu Kush, Gazzers, Madness, Alien Rift, and the K-Town Kush by Cheese and the K-Town Kush in the last run. On the new run coming up, we're going to be running Galactic Citrus Shiva, which is one of our creations. We're going to be running Blue Cheese by Girl Scout Cookies, and then a couple of other ones that I have yet to actually fully decide. But I'm thinking a couple of cushy things there for fun to really start playing with for everybody. So I'm looking forward to that, because I mean, it's been a while since we ran some, like, I mean, we ran Orange Hindu Kush in the last run. It was good, but it wasn't like super, super cushy. It wasn't like a BC kind of Kush. More old school and traditional in certain senses, which was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. Oh, Scully's House of Thrillers. You ain't seen nothing yet. We're basically launching our genetics brand, and we're going to be producing seeds and new genetics and stabilizing them for the rest of our lives. And one of the things that I was sharing at the very beginning of the show, it's very important to us for our genetics line to have a very solid Kush section to it. Which is something we are very much on board with. Hell yeah, Grow Big 207. I can't wait to check it out, man. Jeremiah Sanchez says, I need the stinkiest seeds you have. Well, most of the strains we've produced definitely will stink. It's hard to say what one will stink the most out of what we've currently got on hand. My guess, realistically, would probably be either... probably the Galactic Citrus Shiva, but it's hard to say though, right? That with that Looney Hop, it could be crazy. The K-Town Kush by Cheese didn't really have a lot of smell to it, but the Alien Rift getting in there may have totally augmented and changed it. So it'll be interesting to see what that end result ends up being like with that strain. We will have a lot of other things coming out though too. Another really stinky one will be Gorilla Blue. We've got a lot of the Gorilla Blues being produced right now. Gazzer's taking care of that one. He's got a little bit more space than I do in terms of being able to breed a bunch of different things at once. And I had a limited amount of these Gorilla Blue left, and they're just such a funky, stable, amazing strain that I was like, I sent some Gaz. I was like, bro, can you just crank out a crap ton of these? That'd be great. So we're going to have those joining the family fairly soon and rocking and rolling. A second here. I'm doing well, Jimmy Jones. How you doing, buddy? What's happening, Romans? It's been a while, man. Good to see you. Ooh, Gushers. Another new age strain I've never really tried. Is it stanky? Is it satty? Is it indica-y? Is it hybrid-y? What's it like, man? But yeah, so the Kush line will be coming. Probably one of the new Kushes that we're going to be developing that, I always talk about it. I'm just waiting on the Master Kush Trainwreck by Gaz, because I've got a OG Kush by Trainwreck. So we're going to kind of meld those two worlds and get that going into what I'm going to call Uncle Potsquatch's Choo Choo Kush. Nice, Scully's House of Thrillers. The Gorilla Blue is very gassy, very funky. It's got some glue in there, so there's a gluiness, a super blueberry profile to it, and just like very reminiscent of some very kind of diesel-y types of things in the back in the day as well. I like gas, yeah. It depends on the one. I mean, I'm not a huge sack guy, so certain gassy sats I am really quite into. Like the Gorilla Blue is kind of a hybrid, so it's got a number of different elements to it. So like I'm a fan of it. Where I'm not as necessarily a big a fan of like New York City diesel or sour diesel or things like that, but I do think they are good. Well, the fun thing about that one, Mine Kush 11, is Young Potsquatch's Choo Choo Kush is going to be a double tap on the train wreck genetic, right? So two different train wrecks from, one from my world and one from Gazzer's world. Lots of fun. But then also we've got a Master Kush in there as well as an OG Kush. So that, in theory, should yield something quite beautiful. Hey, Troy, welcome to the show. Did you get a call from the owner of the brewery today? And if not, he will be calling you. Yeah, we can talk later about that, Troy. But rock and roll, buddy. I've got an NY City diesel. I've got sour diesels. I've got a bunch of different diesels in my collection there. So we'll be bringing back some diesel-y things for people to play with. I mean, that's the sad thing is a lot of stuff has been lost in terms of its purest form. Is it lost forever? No, I don't think so. I think a lot of it still exists. Like for example, the golden Oahu or the golden indica from the Oahu Islands was thought to be extinct, but I managed to end up finding some from an old grower. And so these types of things do come back into existence. And that's why I'm always kind of on the lookout for older seeds that someone has stashed away from a long time ago. What's happening, Eddie Muscle TNT? Good to see you, buddy. Rock and roll. Yeah, it very much can be Mine Kush 11. I mean, and so, in a perfect world, maybe we'll be able to figure out a way of making that sour D still very much what it once was, but less finicky. What's your method of taking a soil's pH down? I don't pH. I don't pH anything, Lieutenant Blazer. So I know, freaks out a lot of people that I don't pH anything, but I've never really pH'd. My water source is a very good pH. It's got a good ppm, but yeah, I just don't pH, man. No need for it. I actually think pHing up and down all the time is something that's actually not really required in for a lot of people. I think it's overutilized. I mean, obviously, sometimes in certain scenarios with certain soils and certain water sources, yeah, it's definitely important. But at the end of the day, it's not as big of a thing as people seem to think. And I actually think that people are actually harming their plants by fucking with the pH all the time. If I was running a hydro system, yeah, I'd be monitoring that. But, growing in dirt, you do not need to pH the way most people seem to think you do. I am an award-winning grower. I mean, I grow great cannabis, if I may say so myself, and I've never done that. So, yeah, right, Jeremiah Sanchez? I mean, that's what a lot of people think, when they hear me say that too, and they freak out. They're like, well, how do you not? And then it really freaks them out when I say, well, I don't even feed by ppm if it's a small grow of only 30 or 40 plants. Like, unless I'm running a big reservoir system, I don't even ppm. Hey, what's up, Jansen Dennis? How you doing, my friend? Oh, yeah. Are you flying a plane right now, Jansen? Hell yeah, Eddie Muscle TNT. How you been doing, buddy? You don't need to pH, but don't do extremes like 5.0 or 7.0, right? Yeah, no, that's correct. I mean, typically the happy place in dirt for most plants is usually going to be about a 6.1 to a 6.3, typically. But again, I'm not ever personally overly worried about that. I know. Well, certain people get stuck in their own ways, and certain things will scare them. Yeti Mountain Trading says it's 103 in Oklahoma today. Damn, it sounds hot, man. Yeah, it went up into the 130s last summer here, so I'm really hoping we don't get a scorcher like that this summer. But with climate change the way it is, and the fact that everything seems to be going to hell in a handbasket in my country, it could get pretty hot there this summer. We will see. What's up, James Mercher? How you doing? Hell yeah, Jonathan Dennis. Well, I hope the flight is going all right, and I hope the weather isn't too crazy for your ass. Where you flying today, buddy? But yeah, so anyway, long story short, new grow's going soon, so I'm excited about that. It's so hard to decide what to grow next. Like, I know we're doing Galactic Citrus Shiva. I know we're going to do the Blue Cheese by Girl Scout Cookies, so both of those. I think I got to pull out something cushy. We have a number of different cushes there that are definitely worth playing with. So, we're contemplating that. Mr. Splacchiavelli says, they crossed a hash plant and a gelato with AK-47. Now, mind you, did you go gelato by hash plant, then by AK-47? Or which way did you go about building the genetic composition on that one? That sounds like fun, though. And hell, I love me a hash plant. Hell, that's one thing I wish I had more beans of was like a proper old school hash plant. Oh, that's good. Well, that's good, Mr. Splacchiavelli. That makes me happy. Especially when it's what you want, right? So that makes sense, Eugene Dolan. That makes sense. Hell yeah, get it, Rick. That's awesome, buddy. Oh, hell yeah, Mudswat. It's good for you too, buddy. Get it, Rick says it hit 98.8 where he is. It's getting spicy on the U.S. boys and girls. Yeah, no, it is. I mean, it was kind of warm here somewhat, but we're still getting cold. Like today, we actually had for Highway 3 a snow warning. Well, shit. It's June, but there we go. I mean, I won't lie to you, Scully's House of or Scully's House of Thrillers. I've never been as big of a fan of hazes as everyone else seems to be. I think they're overrated. I've smoked 1,001 different types of haze. I've had super silver haze. I've had lemon haze. I've had haze crossed with other things. Excuse me. I can see why some would like them, but I've never really liked them that much. And also, at the end of the day, too, if you actually talk to the original guys doing haze, like Neville and everybody back in the day, they never really got it to properly work. They were never able to finally finish the strain, as they put it. And so, it is for what it is. If it fits you, that's great. I mean, the original hazes were like 14 to 16 weekers, so they took like forever to do. That's the only real drawback I see with a lot of the old school hazes because of how long that window was. And I think that's probably why Kush and other Kush-based dominant genetics or indica-based dominants really took hold in a lot of places too because of the shorter flowering time, especially when it comes to indoors. Especially with the fact that in many places the market is completely falling apart here. What is called the gray market in Canada, the prices have fallen through the floor. You've got government bastardized irradiated weed that's disgusting. So it's hard, right? So having these longer production window times. I was actually just talking to a buddy right now who's a local medical grower here, and he may have to shut down just because of how hard the market is right now. There's very few buyers, very little movement happening. And it sucks, it's hard when you see people close to you that you really respect and love what they do. But at the end of the day, they're not able to continue what they're doing because of the cost of production. I mean, that's where when we did the last run there, you know what I'm saying? We were trying to reduce our production cost hugely. So by running a slightly higher temps with lights on, running a slightly higher relative humidity, also coupling that with only 3-gallon and 2-gallon pots, so there was less ambient moisture being released into the room, which means the humidifier didn't have to kick on almost ever to maintain kind of our 55 to 60-ish range. So we managed to cut down the production cost significantly. Like where my power bill would normally be like $850 to $1,000, it was about $378 or $380 or something like that, somewhere in that vicinity. So these changes we made were huge. We also only used 3 of our rigs where we didn't fire up any of the side lighting on the last one. Excuse me. Jansen Dennis says, trying to navigate between Chicago and Detroit, but there's big storms or take the long way back to Montreal. Got to be safe, mate. Hell yeah. No, I feel you. And you know what? To be fair, I mean, the sort of the Great Lake area there around, Chicago, Detroit, and all of that. Windsor is being the Canadian part there. And I mean, that general area, I mean, it can be crazy, crazy stormy through there. So that makes sense, Jansen. That makes sense. Yeah, no, right? Scully's House of Thrillers, and that was still running with like my house. I got 2 fridges, we've got 2 sets of washers and dryers. I basically have a TV on at all times of the day when I'm here, and then when I leave, I still leave it on for the dogs, so they feel like there's someone there. But we were able to significantly reduce our production costs, both in terms of obviously the power cost, but another big reduction was the way we were able to keep our actual plants under control this time, which made harvest easier. It made processing easier. It just made my life easier. So that was pretty awesome. So Scully's House of Thrillers reduced the amount of lights we're running, reduced the size of our pots, which then there's less ambient moisture in the room, therefore it doesn't equal or transition into higher relative humidity, which then means my dehumidifier, which when it kicks on, is like 8.3 amps or something stupid like that. Also, too, it wasn't as stanky of a run. Like these strains weren't crazy stanky. They smelled great, but they didn't reek like outside my house. So we barely ran the carbon filter as well. I only really turned it on for the last couple of weeks. The dehumidifier barely had to kick on. I only used 3 double squatches, and we still were able to get the same basic weight that we got on the last run before that. So, and then also too, our time was much less stressful or utilizing less of our time to actually process it and doing it. That was also in part was we stayed on top of our chores a hell of a lot better this time than we did in previous runs. Hell yeah, JP Page 2. That's the way to do it. Oh, thank you so much, Eugene Dolan. I really appreciate that. What's up, Patrick? How you doing, my friend? Yes, so Derek Cloud, 100%. If a male in veg, can it pollinate a crop in another room if it's dropping pollen? 100%. Pollen is very light. It's very easy to be transferred in on your clothes, your beard, in the air. It's a well-ripened male that's dropping pollen outside can literally knock up plants for like 16 kilometers. So yes, is that possible? 100%. Does that mean we have to be ever so careful when we're doing things? Yes, we do. And I am very sorry about your back there, Texas Squatch, by the way. What was the best smoke out of my last harvest? Well, I had a favorite pheno for pretty much each the three main strains we ran. So the Candied Gazzers pheno was my favorite. Was my favorite one on the Gazzers Madness. The one I was calling the Clementine Orange, that was my favorite on the Orange Hindu Kush. And the Alien Rifts were both kind of the same. They were very similar in terms of smell, taste, and finish. So I was just in general, very impressed by them as well. If I had to pick one of the three, it's real close between either the Alien Rift or the Clementine Orange phenotype of that Orange Hindu Kush. Not to say though that the Gazzers Madness, that was the Candied Gaz, was amazing because it was like cotton candy had sex with double bubble gum. It was absolutely beautiful and quite amazing to see. Right, Mudswat. I think one day we'll kind of get there. One day we will get there. We just gotta stick to it and hope, right? 1 second here. I'm just reading. What's up, Not Given? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. But basically, be careful with pollen, everybody. It is true. Pollen can easily transfer in on clothing, on our beards, on our tools, on our bucket, on our watering cans, on a lot of different things. So where we've got to be very careful in terms of that. A lot of people say, well, water neutralizes pollen, and it does in a sense. It temporarily neutralizes the pollen, but just spraying it down with water is not going to take care of the issue. It's just going to give you a temporary window where that pollen is not, up in the air or being able to be blown around. So that's where, being very, very careful, also to being on top of our grows and daily gardening and paying ever so close attention to our grows in general is part of how we look out for these things. Yeah. Yeah, and Derek Cloud, it happens, bro. So that's where, changing our clothes, showering before we go in our grow rooms, or if we are doing some breeding, trying to keep it as quarantined as best as we can, that'd be great. That's important for us to try to do. Oh, 100% Not Given. I've seen pollen that literally knocked up stuff 16 kilometers away, roughly 2.2 kilometers to a mile. So that's roughly 7 or 8 miles, I think, give or take. What's up, Wally Fish? I'm doing all right, my friend. How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, no, and that's true too, Mine Kush 11. That's why I don't like growing outside. That's why I grow inside. It's so much easier to control things and keep things out. Like a lot of people will run air intakes. If you're running an air intake on your grow, you need to be running it through excessive filtration. What does excessive mean? Multi-layered. Okay, we want to be filtering out not only pollen, but we want to be running it through HEPA filters and other filters of the nature. Hell, I mean, if you're really fancy and you can afford it, getting an infrared air intake filter as well to be killing any pathogenic or mold particles that'll be coming in. Where I live in British Columbia, Canada, it is very bad for PM and bud rot. So watching our air intake is so bloody important. I don't run air intake in mine. A lot of the growers I know do run air intake or open air concept indoor runs, and they don't run excessive filtration on their intake, which freaks me the fuck out. But hey, to each their own. It's not my job to tell everybody what to do. Just give them my humble 2 cents. In certain parts of BC, that works. On the Sunshine Coast, that works. But in the Fraser Valley, doesn't work. God rest her, one of my friends who recently passed away. Her name was Sue Ann. Thank you so much, Reverend Veritas. I really appreciate that. It was funny because last summer she was growing an outdoor plant, and so she was like, sent me this message. She was like, "Hey, I think my plant might have mold. Could I send you a picture of it and you tell me what you think?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I can. Sure, send it over." And I have never seen a plant so far gone with powdery mildew infestation. It was so covered in PM that you could barely see the actual green foliage of the plant in any sense of the word, which was pretty astonishing. And I was like, Sue Ann, like, there's basically nothing you can do with that. Like, you just need to throw that out. That is going to make you very, very sick and could make you, it's just very sick. Just don't do it. So anyway, that goes to show you, Sue Ann at the time lived down kind of the Mission area, which is part of the Fraser Valley, and it's just so rampant. I mean, every year it's sad because so many people struggle with these things. A great thing to help combat as well as a preventative in terms of PM, Jake's All-in-One. Jake's All-in-One is an all-natural product. It's absolutely amazing. We used to sell it on our store. We will be selling it on our store again. We're just waiting for that package of Jake's All-in-One to kind of come in. Wise George 365. 2 weeks into taking a break and I still feel high. I might need to visit a doctor. I want to feel sober so I can get high. That's an interesting way to put it. I will ask, is Wise George 365, one of the things you could be doing is if you're, not doing a cleanse, start doing a bit of a cleanse. I know it sounds a little foofy-doo, but it's a legitimate thing to kind of flush out the system. The cleanse I like to do, juice of lemon, cayenne pepper, unpasteurized raw honey. You mix that all together, you drink it every morning. Do it as like the first thing you wake up to, and that will help to begin to clear out your system, my brother. It does. The Fraser Valley has lots of good gold, a lot of undiscovered gold still, even after the gold rush. This is very true, Yeti Mountain Trading. The gold rush happened here and other places through this sort of stretch, but Fraser Valley is definitely one of the hot spots during the gold rush back in the day. Mudswat says, I pretty much only watered that strain and it grew almost maintenance free. Some strains do that, and it's funny, Mudswat, like certain strains are so resilient in their own reality. You don't really need to feed much. You don't need to do much of anything. Like, a lot of SAT strains, even the long running ones, like they require very little feed sometimes. Like that Platinum Cookies God Bud cross that we did, my God, like it barely required anything. By the time we chopped it down, I think I maybe had 1 or 2 fan leaves fade out, and that was it. It was kind of nuts. What's up, Victor? How you doing, my friend? Mudswat. Now we're having the green rush. I would actually say the green rush is already done. I mean, at least here in Canada. The green rush wasn't even the people of the industry because none of us could afford to do it. It was the rich people getting in real quick, building up these companies, then flipping them and selling them out to other secondaries who then lost money. The real people who made money with marijuana in Canada were the ones who got in really quickly with a lot of money and then, sold companies. I think there will be a green boom eventually once we have an inclusive industry that allows the smaller craft grower properly into the industry. But even still, as a craft person now, it will require $1 to $3 million to do a small, tiny facility here in Canada, which is an absolute crock. It is an inflated cost, which is just what it is. How is the Canadian herb bomb? I'll tell you, the Canadian weed is the best in the world. Especially on the West Coast. BC bud is the best in the world. We still are world leaders in my humble 2 cents. Not to say that there's not amazing pot being grown in other places, but BC growers still are world leaders in terms of what we're producing. As someone who's traveled the world extensively and tried weed in a lot of different places, I can say very much that there's always something special to stuff grown in British Columbia. And it's always nice to kind of come home. We were, by and large, the reason the indoor grow explosion happened in the late 60s, early 70s. It was a function of a few variables for us, but we were kind of the ones who dialed it in and sort of learned all the tricks and started breeding to make a conducive reality for doing things inside. So, we still hold our own. I mean, there's definitely been a lot of forward movement, a lot of great work and development in the States and other parts of the world. So, yeah, it's kind of like hockey now, right? Like it's not a guaranteed win for us now, but we usually do pretty well. So I would say we can hold our own still. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. 1 second here. Hey, much love back to you, Wally Fish. Keep it real, son. 1 second here, everybody. I'm just reading. Yeah, and Patrick Randall, that's happening all over the place. Tweed's closed a bunch of their facilities. A bunch of big facilities have closed out of here as well. There's been a lot of closures in Central America, South Africa as well. These facilities that these other big companies have been doing, and they're just cutting costs now. And it's kind of crazy. Like you see these facilities they spent, probably $250 to $300 million for, and then they sell them for a fraction of what they paid to build it. And I'm like, wow, you must be losing a lot of money if you're willing to take, $150 million hit on something. That just blows my mind. You know what I mean? I mean, whoever the smart person coming in who bought the facility for cents on the dollar, good job on you, I guess. Yeah, no, Patrick Randall, the one of the ones, and it's because Tweed is actually not Tweed. It's actually, I haven't even thought about these companies' names in so long. Oh, what the fuck were they called? They're big out here too. They started as Tweed and then they became something else. Canopy Growth. That is the name of the main company there that is Tweed. It started as that, but it is now Canopy Growth. And they were, at least at one point in time, probably still are, the largest cannabis company in the world. They've been closing facilities in the West Coast, the East Coast, Central America, South Africa. Like they're just pulling out of so many places right now. It's kind of astonishing. Mud swat, larf or no larf? Well, typically I don't really have larf on my runs, but yeah. Is that the question, or are you saying am I okay with larf? I mean, one of the stickers that comes with our lights says no larf, so that's one of the things we pride ourselves on. Yeah, and get it, Rick. Vancouver Island Godbud was amazing. I've actually got a Platinum Cookies crossed by Godbud. It was not as great as the original. The cross didn't do it justice. But then again, I mean, I haven't grown a lot of these beans in a while. There could be a hidden pheno in there that I would like. But yeah, Vancouver Island Godbud back in the day was a huge one. Frosty nugs, decent density, decent taste and smokability. Decent strength to it. I mean, it definitely wasn't like a Kush or anything. I would definitely describe it as more of a daytime. But it was good though. No, I remember it very, very well. Oh yeah, no, there's a lot of homies from both Jamaica in general, but the Caribbean. My buddy Sean's mom is from the Caribbean. He actually grew up in the Caribbean before he came here to Canada. There's a lot of people from both Jamaica and the Caribbean in general that are here now. It's pretty cool. Yeah, well, I mean, I prefer not to have larf, but I mean, if I have larf, mud swat, I mean, I would just make hash or something. So yeah, so BC Godbud is actually Vancouver Island Godbud. It's probably, maybe it's called BC Godbud outside of the province here, but Vancouver Island, BC Godbud, whatever, same strain. It's from Vancouver Island. It was developed over there. But yeah, no, it's a dank strain. I mean, I didn't do like an actual straight up weigh, but we did well over 6 or 7 pounds, and then I had another 4, 5, 6 pounds of smalls that probably most people wouldn't call smalls, but I do because I like to make a lot of hash. So I love hash. I'm not aware of a strain called Arizona Jeremiah Sanchez. So that one is one I do not have a brain file on. Well, the original White Widow does exist still, 705. The truest one is something that you would get from Shanti Bubba himself. He's still in the game and he still has seeds available. It is now called Black Widow now, though. So he took the original with him. He invented it. It's his strain. And it's been renamed Black Widow. So if you get a Black Widow from Shanti Bubba or Mr. Nice Guy Seeds, that is the real McCoy. It's the closest thing you're going to get because it's from the guy himself who invented it. What do I think about butane extraction versus mechanical? I am very much against solvent extraction typically. I'm sorry, I don't buy that we can remove all of these solvents from it. So at the end of the day, mechanical or as in heat and pressure, as in rosin, as in solventless is the way to go, in my humble 2 cents. Oh no, where is 705? Yeah, I remember the first time, we had a lot of White Widows around here in BC years ago, and I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong. It was very good. If anything, though, it was funny because like when I went over to Amsterdam, right, and seeing a true White Widow over there, it looked dank. It tasted and smelled basically the same as ours, except we had kind of reworked it a little bit. So I think ours was a little stronger here in BC. I don't remember the one over in Europe being quite as strong. It smelled and tasted and looked right. It was too expensive too. They charged way too much for it, but it didn't have quite the left hook of what we had here. And actually, things like White Rhino. White Rhino was a great one. It was the something that was big in Canada and other places too. But like we had our own White Rhino here in BC that we did. It was great. Another one of the white family developed in Canada would be the Canadian White Russian, which is in part what this genetic that we've just brought down, that will be the F2 of the Kaitangata, which is an outdoor Maori strain for decades over in New Zealand, crossed by Canadian White Russian, which is the classic Canadian development in addition to the quote-unquote white family. Is there any videos of the dry bud from the last run? I haven't been around in a while, so I didn't get to see the whole grow. I think there's like one video where I trimmed up one tiny bud at the very end. I did not shoot a bunch of shots of the bud in the last one. I still have some of it left, so I could probably do that, actually, come to think of it. But I don't know if I did that. But yeah, no, that's a good point. I should probably do more bud porn style videos at the end of our run once it's all cured up for people to see and all of that jazz. Right, 705? White Shark, another great one. I actually quite a big fan of White Shark myself. Cody Monco, funnily enough, one of the plants that is very similar to that I've noticed, it did have a little bit of stretch, because everything has a little bit of stretch, but it didn't stretch much, were those alien riffs. Now you could chalk that up to the stress they faced from the temperature things early on, but I addressed that fairly quickly. And so, yeah, no, it was pretty good, though. Right, Patrick? Hell yeah, buddy. Green Crack, another classic for sure. Oh, is Yeti out? Okay, man. Peace out, Yeti. Have a good one, brother. Hell yeah, Cody Monco. That's really cool, buddy. I dig it. Mine Kush, fentanyl has been popping up in certain places. Sadly, one of the places that in BC fentanyl has been popping up is actually in a lot of indigenous dispensaries. It's kind of scary. I know a lot of really good indigenous companies that I've worked with and I'm friends with. There's also a lot of shady ones out there that are really dropping the ball when it comes to mold, bud rot, PM in general. But also, too, they have killed a few people. There's been a number of people who died from fentanyl overdoses, and all they consumed was cannabis purchased at the local dispensary on the Riaz. So, I mean, it's you got to be careful. Always be mindful to who is behind which company. Look into who are they? What is their reputation in the industry? All Nations Cannabis, great company. At least the people in it I know personally are trying really hard to do good work. I will not name the negative ones out of just generalized respect, but there's a couple of local ones very close to Hope. If you look at ones that are just outside of Hope, I'll give you that much. There's some ones just outside of Hope where I live, where they are people who have been, in actuality, putting fentanyl in some of their weed, which is pretty scary stuff. Weed is good on its own. We don't need to be spicing it up. And that is just disgusting, dirty, and basically a sacrilegious thing in terms of cannabis, in my humble 2 cents. I also agree, 705 grower, that Jack Herrera was fire as. Ooh, that sounds nice, Lieutenant Blazer 556. Yeah, Cody Monco, it's a thing, bro. Never heard of that one. It's happening, Jeremiah Sanchez. It is happening. Not overly common here, but it has happened, though. Oh, well, thank you very much, Soul Price. And you are correct. I should probably remember to do that. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, tell your friends. That's one of the best things you can do to help us out. If you'd like to support this channel as well, check out our store, check out our CBD line, check out our lighting system. Helping us grow as a company is how you're going to empower us to keep empowering you and helping you by releasing more and more content for all of you. What's up, Miss Case Garden? How you doing, my friend? Get it, Rick? That, my guess, would probably be a genetic issue, and from wherever that quote unquote widow would have come from. Hash plant, Master Kush. I was never a big fan of Purple Urkel, to be honest. I never thought it was that good, but I love BC Perps. Granddaddy Purple, another great one. Purple Power Plant, Purple Kush back in the day before it got all wonky and fucked with. Yeah, no, it's not like fentanyl's cheap, right? Like to my understanding, it costs a fair amount. So I don't get it either, to be honest. Hey, cheers back to you as well, Stony Baker MD, my friend. I'm doing all right, Miss Case Garden. I hope everything is well with you too, my sister. Cody Monco, some of the purple ones I've tried are really good. Like the apple fritter I was recently smoking. Shout out to Nolan. Whoop. Sorry, kicking my camera. But yeah, so basically, the apple fritter, it wasn't straight purple. It had a lot of purple striations through it. I have smoked a lot of purple weed that was dank as fuck. Some of it isn't, some of it is. I've never had anything that was like a straight up super purple and only purple. I've seen pictures of things like this. I know it exists. But have I ever seen that in person? No. The closest I have seen would be probably the King's Kush we did, and that one pheno we had that went like stupid purple. And that shit was dank. It was strong as hell. Like it grabbed you, bent you over the sink, and then started beating your head against the cabinet. Like it was good. It was dank. It could be breeder error too. No, 100% get it, Rick. But like genetically, that would be a breeder error in bad genetic lines too, right? Because sometimes, like, doesn't matter how good of a grower you are, you can't fix bad genetics. You can take a kind of a shitty genetic and elevate it as much as you can, but like, there's only so much you can do, no matter how good you are, when it comes to a plant, right? So genetics is such an important part for us to be aware of and where we're starting with in terms of growing. Do you think people choose hard drugs because they can't find chronic? No, I don't. I do not think that at all. That would be along the lines of calling cannabis a gateway drug, which I don't believe it is in any sense, really. I believe that certain addictive mindsets and party-like immature behaviors are gateways. If anything, I would say cannabis and dank cannabis is actually a way out of hard drugs. And if the cannabinoid, if anything, the cannabinoid replacement project that's been operating in Vancouver for a very long time has proven that because dank weed, high dose edibles, high strength cannabis, low barrier access cannabis has shown to be able to be an alternative for people who are struggling with heroin addiction, fentanyl addiction, carfentanil addiction, and these types of opioid based addiction things. Damn, that's crazy, Cody. Oh, 100% Jeremiah Sanchez. 100%. Most definitely. Especially too, there'll be spots in Canada where, like, even, there is naturally occurring cannabis. Also, too, like, who knows? Like, maybe someone did a grow like 30 years ago and it's just been left on its own to kind of do its thing. But, if you go to places like Russia, Asia, the Middle East, Central America, etc., of course, there's tons of land races still. India, another big one there. Well, India is part of Asia, but you know what I'm saying. Highest five hashtag boom contest. What? Well, we don't have a hashtag boom contest, but we will be having the huge giveaway on August the 10th, where we are giving away 106 prize packs, 100 regular prize packs of 35 seeds, 10 seeds of 3 regular photo strains, 5 seeds of auto, and then we've got 6 super packs that we will also be giving away. One second, everybody. I'm just reading. No, and definitely. There's definitely been more stressors currently in the last number of years for basically a majority of the planet than we're used to, and has been in quite some time, and that's very much a real thing. But with inflation, like, man, how could anybody even afford to do hard drugs? I mean, like, and costs of things went up during the pandemic too. So it's like, I don't know. Weed's at an all-time low right now in Canada. I mean, hell, it's so affordable. Maybe not legal weed, but the gray zone, right? It's more affordable now than it's ever been. You can pick up a pound of decent trips for like $300. It's pretty sad, actually. That's why a lot of the small boutique style gray zone growers are getting out of the game because we can't afford to keep going. Which is pretty sad because we're losing some of the best growers in the world because of the way the industry is going right now. It'd be nice if the government would pull their head out of their ass and clear up the red tape and the bureaucratic bullshit behind all of this to allow an actual fair market, to allow the little people into the industry. That would be nice to see, man. So Cody Monko, there's a few different tricks you could do. I mean, some people like to do the sandpaper trick. I that one scares me a little bit. I'm more of a fan of taking a pin and just pricking where that's going to break down, allow the moisture in. Heat is quintessential. Keep them at about 23 degrees, 24 degrees Celsius. Maintain that with the thermal pad. You can also use a little bit of H2O2 to super oxygenate the water. Okay, which is going to help invigorate an old seed. Yeah, so prick them open. H2O2 a little bit, and we're not talking much, right? Like in a cup of water, maybe like a tiny little thimble or something. But that will help. And then watch your temperatures. For older genetics, having an optimal temperature, which is typically about 23 at least, for that older genetic to do its magic, to have the interior genetic makeup begin to replicate, to create a little rootlet, etc., is going to help. If you have a slow growing one that has a rootlet, but it's not doing much, cheat. Take a little bit of dissolved rooting hormone powder and dump that on your seedling. No shit. It is a great trick, and it is legitimate. It feels a little bit like cheating, and maybe it kind of is in a sense, but I say fuck it. If it works, it works. I agree, Stony Baker MD. I agree. What's up, Ozzy Lone Wolf? Good to see you, buddy. Sorry, everybody. I'm just reading here. Well, dude, the crazy thing is 705 too, if you get caught, technically in terms of the legislature, now this is probably not what's going to happen, but in terms of legislature, if you sell more than 30 grams of cannabis in Canada and get caught doing that as an individual, which is just ludicrous, you could face up to 14 years in prison. True story. If you actually look at the Cannabis Act in Canada in terms of the legislature and the actual penalties, it is more illegal now under legalization than it was when it was illegal. What's up? Oh, never mind. I already said hi to Texas. Sorry, I misread Texas's thing. Yeah, right, Mine Kush. I never thought I'd see a day where diesel costs more than regular gas. It's just strange to me, but. So James Mercer, we're going to be doing Galactic Citra Shiva. We're going to be doing Blue Cheese by Girl Scout Cookies. And then two that I haven't decided yet that you're going to have to wait. uh, 705 grow in Vancouver right now for a liter of regular. It's anywhere from like 231 up to almost 240. Where I live right now, it's floating at about for a liter of regular about $2.20, give or take. It's not cheap. It's a lot more in BC than it is in Ontario. Yes, Mine Kush. I've actually developed a grow system of how to grow in space years ago that is designed to function in zero gravity atmosphere. Also working with 360 degree spherical planters and things as such. Kind of pissed me off when I saw the Trailer Park Boys cartoon basically ripping off my basic design. I'm like, well, who did I meet in a bar one time? Like, you know, I've met a lot of people from film, and I was probably drunk and told them about it. There's no way Ricky and the writers of Trailer Park Boys, aka Mike Smith, came up with that. But anyway, who knows? They probably did. I don't know. It was eerily similar to the ways I would have approached it, though. But yes, I've thought about it a lot, especially in my younger years. That was one of the things I spent a lot of time conceptualizing in ways to do that. No, don't give up on them, Cody. I mean, dude, watch the temperatures again. Do the whole prick. Don't do the sandpaper thing. Do the actual pin prick right into water after you prick it. H2O2. Watch your temperatures. It'll be okay. I believe you can get some of them to go. I mean, well, Stony Baker MD, obviously utilizing microzyme, which functions as a secondary extension of your rooting systems, is a great thing. Also, cheating with rooting hormone powder. Just go for that. Yeah. 705, no. A gallon is 3.78 liters. So essentially 4 liters to the gallon. So basically, for the Americans at home, let's say 230 a liter, okay? We'll call it 4 liters to a gallon. That means we're paying $9.20 in Vancouver, roughly, for what you would call a gallon of gas. Hey, have a beautiful night, Jansen Dennis, and may the force be with you. Turn off the guidance computer and just ride it, man. Sorry, everybody, I'm just reading now. Well, I mean, it was a great idea, Jeremiah Sanchez. I mean, we're not really at a place where we have enough of a catalog going for the membership thing, but it was a good idea. One of the ideas was that there was like a monthly subscription fee, and you would get like certain genetics and stuff like that into it. I mean, we're not at a place where we're ready to do that, but one day we will get there. And it was a great idea, and I think it's something a great thing and a good idea that we can work towards and do. 705. I mean, out west, it would probably be like if we're talking Canadian dollars, over 9 now. I love it, Stoney. Yes, Cody Monco. I've done that before. It works. Totally works. You can grow it that way. One of the fun things is where I've done it is I've had ones on the ground and then ones in topsy turvies. And I ran 360 degree spherical light or tube lights and then grown it that way. And then you actually had like double the area. That was kind of cool. Probably my favorite way of doing things though is to have those sort of tube style lights. You can get like a cob LED bulb now that's actually interchangeable into certain HPS rigs, or you can build an LED that's essentially 360 degrees circumference, but then doing 360-degree vertical grows is pretty cool too. Stony Baker MD, I mean, you would have to basically be beyond ripped at the time. And so, in theory, yes. Is there a way to kind of do it? Probably. But I think it would be very hard to nail down that window actually to make that a thing. So, is it possible? Yes. Is the time window very short to actually pull it off? Yeah, I would say so. So yes, in theory, is it possible? Technically. Is it really feasible in actuality? Probably not. Don't ask what premium costs here. I don't want to tell you. What's up, Seymour Cannabis? Sorry, everybody. I'm just reading. Are you still live? Yes, I'm still live, Cadillac Jack. Damn. What's 222 pound in Canadian dollars right now, Eugene Dillon? Certainly a lot more than what we're spending. Stony Baker MD, the light isn't really going to be necessarily in one sense, but if you are maintaining optimal temperatures, plus you're not having the plant stretching and you feel that the plant itself is producing enough energy via photosynthesis, then it is going to definitely maximize your root systems for sure. But it would be more of a kind of a secondary way of looking at it in that sense, rather than a direct stimulus per se. But by having enough available energy via photosynthesis, with then microzy and benefit, lots of beneficial things going on. You're hitting all your microbials, you're hitting your sugars, you're hitting your actual happy soil environment. Yeah, no, for sure. But it's. I wouldn't say it's quite as direct as the question states it. You know what I mean? Oh no, I feel you, Jeremiah Sanchez. No, but that has to do with unlicensed individuals in Canada selling marijuana. The licensed companies can sell a whole shitload of weed. But it's referring to the actual Cannabis Act that was written in when legalization, or as I call it, Prohibition 2.0, took hold in Canada. Prof. So stony. Oh, fuck. Yeah. And but it's still, we're not really as a company looking to sell. Like eventually, we'd like to have a craft cannabis farm and be bringing craft to the local market. But there's not really a huge amount of money in growing weed, to be honest. So like where we would do that, that would be more so just to kind of have a local presence with where we're doing things. And I love growing weed. So, but the real money for us is in genetics, it's in development, and other things like that. So that's kind of where our company's at in terms of what our plan is. Oh shit, that's crazy, Jansen Dennis. That's nuts, bro. Thank you, co-pilot, for texting for Jansen Dennis. Hey, cheers back to you, Marijuana King. 298 Canadian dollars according to Google. Damn, son. That's a lot of money. Hell yeah, not giving. I'm glad you stoned, man. That's true, Roman Reckless. Microbes are the world. They are one of the most important things in terms of Mother Nature living within itself and operating under its natural systems. Yeah, like I mean, eventually, Jeremiah, I definitely want to have cannabis as something that eventually we are licensed to do in our store, and doing that would be great one day. Do I ever see cannabis being the main moneymaker for a company? No. Um, I see it often, as I describe to people, if we were to go that route and have that get going in a sense. For me, it would be more of a providing day to day operating capital for all that our company does, but it would never be like a huge, huge money maker in my mind, though, at the same time. Yeah, Crohn's disease is real, man. I feel your pain, Roman Radcliffe. Yeah, yeah, right, Jeremiah Sanchez. And I mean, at the end of the day, Jason A, are you going to sell clones too? With a micro, excuse me, with a micro nursery license, we would be allowed to also technically bring clones to market as well. Yes. Um, yeah. So the thing I don't remember with the legislature and the licensing in Canada is like a lot of it's still being figured out. It's very much like, I mean, I also work in a brewery now. Hell, it's been how many years since prohibition ended on alcohol, and we're still figuring out some of the laws and some of the crap. You know what I mean? Like, so I definitely think it's going to be a long, arduous journey. We are trailblazers in a new industry that still doesn't really know what the fuck it's doing in terms of legislature and regulations, let alone the horrible patchwork of different areas between provincial, municipal, and federal legislatures, which all kind of control their own part of it. So then they disagree, they do whatever they want. Federal government was stupid and lazy, and they left all this up to all these other areas, and then you get this sort of patchwork of rules and legislature throughout the country. I also believe that there's very similar things going on in the States, right? It's just not the way to do it. This is not how we do a fair, inclusive industry. Yeah, James Mercher, definitely have them ready to sell. I just gotta wait for the labels to show up, and they will be on the website. I've got thousands upon thousands upon thousands of them. Hey, much love to you as well, Jeremiah Sanchez. Thank you, brother. I mean, James Mercher. I mean, yeah, some people charge way too much for clones, right? Like, Patrick, do the labels have my bearded face on them? No. they have the Potsquatch Growers Army logo on them. No, I mean, one like on when we get to a place where we can be doing dedicated artwork for each specific strain. What's up, Seymour Cannabis? Hell yeah. What I'm thinking is I'd love to do dedicated artwork to each specific strain eventually one day. The one that was that I've been talking about, which is going to be like Uncle Potsquatch's Choo Choo Kush. I definitely want to have like a graphic of like a cartoon, me in a train about to drive off this broken train track into a giant ravine or something, a gorge. That would be a funny label too. I agree, Aaron. That would be a very funny label. Oh shit. Stony Baker MD, I mean, at least the first ones that are coming out will definitely be not only, I mean, I could sign them if you want, but I mean, they will be handwritten by me myself. I'm thinking that the first seeds that we do with the basic label will be labeled like the initial batch. This was 1 of 10 or 2 of 10. And then, it'll be part of kind of the collectability to them as well. There will come a day where we have dedicated artwork. There will come a day where this is so big that I can't. I'm going to be too busy. Maybe there'll be occasional ones that I'll personally do, and those will be like limited edition special things or something like that. But there will come a day where I hope that our company's grown to such a size that we are employing hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of people around the world to help us on our initiatives and what we're doing. I don't want to just give back to the industry. I also want to give back to the local community by employing Canadians and then hopefully one day Americans, Europeans, etc., etc., etc. One step at a time, though. Yeah, it'll be like signing on those doing the pictures on a grain of rice, Stony Baker MD. No, thank you, Jeremiah. I feel you then. 1 second, everybody. Yeah, I won't make you come for the live stream during the live stream. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I'll be right back. And we're back. I know Cadillac, saying European made me have to go pee. Have a wonderful evening, Miss Kay's Garden. Thank you for tuning in, my sister. All right. That's a funny name, Stony Baker MD. Very clever. Yeah, I haven't personally seen the new Top Gun movie. I've never really been too into anything Tom Cruise has done, to be honest. But I hear it was, as he described it on a lot of the review shows that I heard talking about it, they're like, it was actually way better than it should have been. But Aaron asks, what does that beer taste like? Will-O-Wisp Pilsner. is kind of a reimagining of a traditional Pilsner. I would say it has a much higher IBU than a standard Pilsner like Germany would. Um, it does have some sort of ethereal, earthy, uh, greeny notes from what I would imagine maybe would be like a willow. I don't actually know if they put any willow in it, but it's definitely got a higher IBU than a standard Pils. Decent carbonation on it though, refreshing, crisp, and tasty. Cadillac Jack, I'd be shocked if you weren't baked right now. Dude, right? The only thing, James Mercer, that I'm sad about is I would have loved to be in that movie. I would have loved to be in the remake of The Munsters by Rob Zombie. That would have been something that would be truly great to be a part of. But yeah, I'm excited to see that one too, my friend. Yeah, the gentleman. Is that the one with like the super spy kind of agency thing? Am I thinking of the right movie? Oh, I agree, Roman Reckless. Dark, twisted, beyond belief. James Mercher. Of course, I'm going to be using the same nutrients I always use. Green Planet all the way. The Green Planet 3-part Vita Thrive, resin, liquid weight, massive bloom formulation, and probably a few other things. Maybe I might get some more of their humic acid, which I quite like. And obviously I'm gonna do kind of some of my Uncle Potsquatch pick me up juice that I make, and which is Epsom salts, gravy, molasses, gravy, not gravy, coffee. There's no gravy going into this. Oh my god, shows where my mind's at, right? No, molasses, coffee, Epsom salt, eggshell, some brown banana peel, make a little tea. Uncle Potsquatch's pick me up juice. Also mud swat. I just think you need to make some Uncle Potsquatch's pick me up juice for your plants, and they'll be fine. It's probably just because you're so stoned, Stony. uh, Kemet 432. Any shipping root stock like for re-veg? Keep alive. I mean, if you're asking, can you ship a clone? I mean, technically, it's possible. Yes, there are plant clone shippers. I've built a couple of them myself that seem to be working all right. No, I'm just probably hungry, Jeremiah Sanchez. Well, we did do 6 videos in the Uncle Potsquatch's cannabis kitchen. There are 6 videos that we did of that. I mean, we never really got tons of views. I didn't think people gave a shit really. So we just did the 6 ones. We never made another one again. Maybe we'll revisit it again one day. What's up, O'Shea Ferrero? How you doing, buddy? Cadillac Jack, is the cocoa media more susceptible to bugs? I wouldn't necessarily say it's more susceptible to bugs, but cocoa inherently can come with thrips and other things in it. So you got to be very, very careful, and you got to cook your cocoa coir before you use it. Also, it has no inherent nutrition into it, so basically you've got to feed. I don't like cocoa on its own, not a fan, but I do like having a bit of cocoa though in my soil itself as part of the mix. That's why I like ProMix HP. They already did the work for me. I don't need to worry about doing it. Oh, that's cool, Eugene Dolan. That's dope. Now, if I were to make fried chicken, it'd be a hell of a lot more than 11 herbs and spices. Fuck Colonel Sanders. You probably stole the recipe anyway. Do you like ADV number 4, Josh? What's ADV number 4? Is that a strain? Because the only ADV strain I personally know is the critical ADV Soma that I do have one bean of, but I don't know if I'll ever pop it because at the end of the day, it's just one. James Merchant says, I'm gonna use nectar for the gauze nutrients with the galactic citrus Shiva. Do it. I'd love to see what the reactions to another nutrient system is. I mean, I'm a curmudgeon. I mean, eventually, I would like to do a compare and contrast between a lot of the major ones, right? So like I'm thinking I might reach out to them and be like, look, I want to do a grow comparison between advanced nutrients, green planet nutrients. We can get some Remo in there. We could do a bunch of other ones too. But for it to be a good comparison, though, I think we need to go with companies that actually have proper three-part systems, so then we can compare their basic three-part system. That I think would be a very valid, beautiful comparison to do and to catalog for everybody on the internet. I think that one would be pretty good. Like I think that'd be dope. Yeah, no, Cadillac Jack. I've strayed away from dirt many a time over my career over the years, but at the same time, I always end up coming back to dirt. I'm a dirty boy. I like my dirt. I like playing in the dirt. I like growing in the dirt. So for me and my plants, dirt is always sort of the best way to go, and it seems to work the best. It is definitely more forgiving than a lot of other kind of types of mediums. Probably one of the weirdest things though, I had a buddy for I think he probably still does it. I haven't talked to him in years, but he used to love growing in like perlite, like straight up perlite. That's just what he did. He would just grow in straight up perlite. It was so in a sense, if you think about it, it's kind of like just sort of like doing a hydroponic drip system or something like that on like hydroponic lava stones or whatever. But it was kind of cool though. Like it was weird. But I mean, hey, it was his style. It's what he was into, right? Like, I mean, hey, I'm not, to each their own. There's 1,001 ways to get to the same destination, and yeah. Oh hell yeah! No, worms are never a bad thing to have hanging out in your dirt, Patrick. That's a definite truth. Yeah, so Cadillac Jack, you can remember what you're doing is now called monster cropping. It's a very legitimate technique. I actually find monster crop clones actually do a better job in terms of production, especially when it comes to sort of the potency, the flavor, and taste. But remember, re-vegging it is hard. It takes time and patience. But when it goes, it'll go. The later in flower you take the cutting, the harder it will be to re-veg, but the better it will monster crop. I do have a video on monster cropping where I go into greater depth explaining it. Feel free to checking it out. I think it's called something like "What is a monster crop clone?" The how, the why, the what, or something like that, or what is monster cropping? The how, the why, the what. Check it out. It'll be in our probably in the how-to educational video playlist on the channel. Jeremiah Sanchez, why is that? I think the stress, yes, but like when it survives that kind of re-veg process in the greater age, it just seems to bring a greater depth to potency, flavor, and smell and taste and all of that. I've done side by side comparisons on it a bunch of times over the years, and pretty much every strain that I've ever done that successfully re-veg, that didn't hurt, that didn't have any issues, and was able to survive the process did seem to do a better job in terms of producing better fire, quote unquote, than the actual original version of it before we did the monster cropping process. So, I'll put my 2 cents on it. It could be, Stoney. Hey, have a beautiful day, Aussie Lone Wolf. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us today, my friend. Yeah, no. So basically, I mean, I'm a big fan of monster crop clones. Most of what we ran in the beginning of the channel was all monster crop stuff. What's up, John boy? Good to see you, buddy. One of the cool things too is when you take a monster crop clone and create a mother plant out of it, all of her babies will have a mild monster cropping nature, which means all of the clones you take off her will be slightly better than if you had kept a normal mother plant. Yeah, actually, I used to talk about it a lot on the channel, Jeremiah Sanchez, back in the hood days. I haven't talked about monster cropping probably in a while. I don't think I've really talked about it much since the last lab. But yeah, no, I love monster cropping shit. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll get to a place where I can like have a safe place to keep some other plants without getting them knocked up, and keep some other plants going, so we could kind of start doing that. That I do miss having other plants, and I do running some regular stuff that we're used to running. You know what I mean? Cadillac Jack, yes, you don't want ninja nanners, but at the same time, with a stable genetic, it can survive the re-veg process. Also, too, I will say, the one thing to remember too is that when we re-veg, and once our re-veg has really set in and we've got it going, removing all of the old flower off of the plant is recommended. You can do it with a clone, or you can actually just trim a plant down, leaving some of the lower bud sites, and re-veg that. And then you've got to trim it off though once that sets in. Thoughts on silica? Silica is an extremely important thing for strength and development of the vegetating plant. The one thing I would say is don't go waste your money on a silica thing and putting it in there. They charge way too much for it. Just get yourself a giant bag of DE. I bought a giant bag of DE 3 years ago, and it's still going. Diatomaceous earth is essentially silica. It is fossilized single cell amoebas from a bajillion years ago, and it's ground up. The one thing to remember though is don't go too heavy-handed on it. Well, that's one thing we did in the last run. I was curious to see like, well, what would happen if I like go like 6 times what I normally do, or like 8 times? And well, it kind of coats the roots and chokes out the roots a little bit. So maybe don't do that. So maybe do a liter of water, do like a teaspoon or two diatomaceous earth, and that will give you all of your silica requirements and be a vastly cheaper way to do it. So spend $40 to $80, depending on where you are, once every 3 or 4 years, and that's with running a lot of grows. Stony Baker MD, you get concrete? What? No. I mean, have I bought concrete? Yes, but no. Hell, I used to like when I was fighting a lot of fungus gnats back in the day. Like I would like pack on DE on top of the soil, and then it would kind of like turn into this like super hard, almost clay-like top. If you go back to some of the older videos, you'll see like these white tops. You won't see dirt. It's just interesting. Jansen Dennis, just fanning Potsquatch. Fuck, Air China took our gate. Fucking, of course they did. China's mad at the U.S. saying you're bullies right now in the U.S. and saying that, you're bullying Asian parts of the world to not liking China anymore. I'm like, no, China, I'm pretty sure they hate you all on their own, and you're the big bully, and you're the assholes who have very aggressive expansion plans, and, well, most of the world doesn't like that. So, tough shit, China. Get with the times. Mao 2.0, aka Little Ping Ping. Hey, Ping, go die in a hole. All right. Sorry. I love the Chinese people, but, the Communist Party of China is not communist. It is, in fact, a capitalistic oligarchy, and they are one of the most dangerous things to this world right now. Not the people. The people of China are some of the most beautiful, compassionate, hardworking people I've ever seen in my life. But the Communist Party of China is a fucking real danger. You think little Poop Poop 10 is bad? Take a look at a little Ping Pang. You know what I'm saying? They're the real danger here. And you also got to remember they are friends with Russia, too. Oh, Lieutenant Blazer 556. I'm not even going to comment on that one, Stony. I'm not even going to comment on that one. Oh, fuck. All right. All right, yeah. There we go. It's all right. Don't worry. The people in China can't even watch YouTube, so they won't even see anything we're saying. So it's going to be okay, everybody. And what is the Communist Party going to do? You can send your spies at me if you want. But yeah, I'm well known in China already, so I'm kind of famous over there. No, don't be sorry, Jansen. It's all good, buddy. It's all good. Uh, and I think both Family Guy and South Park have made jokes that are similar to that. But anyway, uh, at the end of the day, my friends. Great show. I had a lot of fun with all of you today. Um, no, Japan's cool. We like Japan. The Japanese are cool. I'm down with the Japanese. Um, and pretty much most of Asia, other than the Communist Party of China. Like, let's be honest. Well, North Korea can go fucking die in a hole too, but whatever. But anyway, uh, my friends, my family, thank you for your support. Please like and subscribe if you're into it. If you're new to this channel, check it out. Tell your friends. The grows will be going soon. Wednesday, we'll be releasing a video on how to make your own insecticide with rhubarb greens. It's going to be a fun, wonderful little video that I think will be very beneficial to all of you at home this summer going into that. So simply put, my friends, my family, check that out on Wednesday. We'll also be, cleaning up the lab and getting things back engaged and going. We're going to be back to what we do very soon. So you do not need to go without anymore. I'm back, baby. The store's open for business. Most affordable CBD in the world. We will continue to do that and stand by it and make the highest quality CBD products and making them affordable and accessible. James, the seeds will be available on our store very soon. We just got to wait for the new labels, aka I got to finish designing them and get them sent off. But my sticker guys are pretty good, and they will, they normally only take a day or two really to kind of get my shit done and sent out to me. So that's pretty exciting. I'm pretty stoked about that. So seeds will be available very, very soon. Okay, everybody. Stores open now for the CBD and all the swag. We'll be expanding the swag line as well. We're going to be expanding the CBD line in a bunch of different ways, and it will be great. And at the end of the day, we're going to be having Jake's All-in-One return to the store as well. Jake's All-in-One's coming back, as well as we're going to have a lot of garden supply and other certain things. So we'll be bringing in products that are things that I like to use, right? So, what kind of snips does Uncle Potsquatch use? Well, I'm all about them Fiskers. So we'll have some Fiskers on the store and other things too. But anyway, I digress, my friends. There's a lot of exciting things coming for the Potsquatches. Thank you for those of you who have stayed loyal and stayed here tuning in, even though we haven't had things running. It's been an interesting year and a bit for us at the channel, and you've only got to see 2 grows in the last year and a half, so I do apologize for that. But we're back, baby. We're back, and things are locked and loaded. CBD hemorrhoid wipes. Probably the wipes wouldn't do much, but maybe we'll do a CBD suppository for everybody. Those are real, and those are a thing. And that's actually one of the products we could release. But next online for the expansion of our CBD products will be our hemperette line. Okay, hemperettes, smokable hemp pre-rolls, as well as I'm actually thinking I might launch some hemp cigars as well, because I'm into that. But anyway, my friends, my family, my Potsquatches, remember, the true grower is the forever student. The true grower is not afraid to take risks. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. We learn more from our mistakes than we do from our successes. Don't beat yourself up, all right? Love yourselves, learn from the mistakes, move on. Teach yourself to be a compassionate person. You can accomplish more with a smile than you can a grimace. And you never know what someone's going through in their personal life. So simply put, a little bit of kindness, a little bit of compassion goes a long way in terms of the world. Remember that. The world needs it more now than ever before. Peace and love, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday in the video. All right. And also, little pang pang poo poo, fuck you. China, leave the world alone. Little poo poo Putin, go fuck yourself. Leave Ukraine alone. Fucking pricks. Anyway, that's my message to the world on that one. Compassion for all except for maybe Pang Pang and Putin. All right. Peace out, everybody. Love you. Bye.